I'm Mariel Brown and this is Sancoche, a delicious melee of Caribbean people, food and craft. As you can probably tell from my attire, we're actually not in the Caribbean at the moment. I am in fact in Argentina, in the village of San Antonio de Areco. And I'm here to learn all about asado, ranch culture, beef. Argentinian beef is fantastic. So that's what this episode is about. We started here in San Antonio because this is where some of the best craft is made for Gauchos, the Argentinian cowboys. So let's take a look around. It seems a bit contradictory that these really strong, masculine men who spend their lives on horses in the Pampas would want to adorn themselves in this really interesting way. But Gauchos wear the most beautiful, I can only call it jewelry, on their person, and on their belts, on their boots, the horses. So let's take a look at some of that. Hola.
Hola.
Hola. Can I take a quick look around?
¿Cómo no?
Thank
Sí,
you. Gracias.
No.
Right. What's so lovely about a shop like this is just seems to be the kind of art and beauty that sort of deifies a particular cultural form like the Gauchos. I mean, look at some of these things. This belt, for example, has gorgeous leather work, beaten coins, you know, it's just, look at that buckle. What a spectacular buckle. I think it's really, really beautiful. And underneath, we have a real Gaucho tool, which is something they would tuck into their belt, which is a knife or a flacon. Senor? Thank you. Take a look at that. That's a really kind of ornate, sharp, dangerous knife that the Gaucho would carry around with him. Y otro. These are antiques. This one here is an antique. And this is a new one that's actually made in this shop, in this workshop here. Very, very beautiful, artfully produced. Gracias.
No.
So let's take a little look around the shop some more, okay? Think of the Old West, my goodness. Can you imagine getting jugged by this if you're a poor old horse, poor thing? Anyway, but it's very, very beautiful. And if you just take a look around the shop, there's just loads of special, beautiful things that have to do with this amazing part of Argentinian culture, the Gaucho.
The first Gauchos were mestizos of mixed native Indian and Spanish heritage, who roamed the vast prairie land of La Pampa, rounding up the large cattle and horse population that roamed freely there. They too were independent spirits who were an integral part of Argentina's romance.
Of course, the silversmithing isn't just for the Gauchos. There's some workshops that do really trendy, pretty jewelry alongside the more traditional forms. This place has both, and there's something in the window I see that I want to show you. So let's take a look. Hola. Can I take a look at the mate cup?
Sí.
Great. So this is a mate cup, and it's really quite a beautiful and extraordinary thing. Mate is the national tea or drink of Argentina, if you will. I don't know if it's that's its official status, but it certainly seems to be that way. And it's a really strong, pungent tea that's just drunk straight, no milk, no sugar. And you would mix it with the leaves in this cup, right? But what's so special is that the straw is actually how you filter the tea from the leaf. So you sip the tea very slowly through this wonderful, gorgeous, kind of ornate straw. And these straws are made with silver or bamboo in really kind of ornate or quite simple fashions. And this, of course, is a gorgeous calabash. So yeah, that's a mate cup. I just wanted to share that with you. That's it from San Antonio, but stay with us because when we come back from break, we'll be heading to a ranch called El Hombo.
Viewer discretion is advised for this segment of Sancoche because of its graphic nature.
I'm here at the El Hombo Ranch, which is about an hour and a half's drive outside of Buenos Aires on this cold but spectacular day. And we're here to learn about ranch life. So we're going to meet some cattle. We're going to cook an asado, which is a very traditional form of Argentinian barbecue. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So come take a look around with me now. So we're in Argentina, which is a Spanish-speaking country. Unfortunately, neither myself nor any member of my crew speaks a word of Spanish, apart from buenos dias and adios and maybe one or two other things. So Patricia has kindly offered to be our guide and our translator today. Thank you so much, Patricia.
It's going to be a pleasure.
What are we starting with?
With the branding,
Right.
Those cars are waiting.
They're waiting to be branded.
Exactly.
So
It's
why
compulsory.
Right, okay, because I'm thinking the poor cows, they can't be too into the idea of being branded. So you're marking the cows, why?
Well, to identify them, right?
Right.
So that the owner can identify its cattle.
Right, so when they're ranging, they're sort of mixing up with other cattle, is that how it goes?
Exactly. It's compulsory, right?
Okay, so shall we start?
Yes, whenever you want.
Let's go and do some branding. Right, so this is where the roundup starts.
Exactly.
Shall we get started?
Buen día, Oscar. Adelante.
El Hombo is in an area of Argentina known as the Pampas, a vast land of alfalfa, wheat, sunflowers and sky. At one time, La Pampa would have been the Argentinian equivalent to the western frontier in the US. And just as the frontier gave rise to the roaming and often solitary cowboy, so too does the Gaucho exist because of La Pampa. If you're faint of heart, then you'll need to close your eyes for what comes next. The castration. Ouch.
So after that rather traumatic experience castrating the bulls, we're going to do something a little gentler. We're going to saddle up a horse and maybe go for a ride. Los.
Right, this is Oscar, Mariel.
Oscar, mucho gusto. How are you? Okay, so tell me what the process is now.
All right, Oscar is going to fetch the saddle.
Right.
Busca la montura. And he's going to teach you to saddle your horse so that you can go horseback riding.
I don't know if I'm happy or nervous or what. Can you help me with something?
Yes, of course. Oscar, ¿qué es lo que tiene que poner ahora? Dile para que-
Le puse la sudadera.
This is what ties everything up to the
Right.
horse
Okay,
so that it would not fall.
all right. And the stirrups and things. How tight does it actually need to be? How tight does it need
Very
to be?
tight so that it does not move.
But it's not hurting the horse.
No.
Okay.
No. Of course, we are not delighted. But
So this is looking positively palatial in terms of comfort.
oh yes, it is. Besides, because Gauchos used to travel long distances, so
Right.
they needed to be comfortable.
So a lot of time sitting down on a horse.
Exactly.
That's right. Putting the hand here. And putting the hand here. Right. Into the stirrup.
Hurry.
Right. Okay. Got it. I'm on a horse. Good grief. It's been a while. Come on. So Patricia, what is it that makes the Argentine beef so special as far as you're concerned?
Well, I would say because they feed on pastures, and that obliges them to walk and they don't create fat.
Right, they get exercise then.
Exactly, and castration is another thing because they don't develop muscles.
Right. They don't develop muscles. So, I mean, basically one of the great things that you have here is kind of room and space
Exactly.
for the cows to range. Speaking of space, I know that you moved sort of from the city to the country. Why did you do that?
Well, mostly because I was seeking for peace, and besides because here you get time, which is something really enjoyable, and you don't get in the city all that rush from here to there.
In terms of time, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, somehow here everything is more relaxed. People know each other. People are important here.
Yeah.
And well, they take their time to know the people. So you're just not a number.
It seems to me also that there's something quite natural and age-old about the process that happens here. So that even though, I mean, what we saw earlier today with the castration of the cows, it was kind of intense and felt a little brutal. It feels also like part of the way of things, wouldn't you say?
Exactly, and everything has a reason. It's not just to make cows suffer, right? Everything has to do with the life traditions and ways of doing things.
Yeah, it's quite an awesome place actually. When you look out upon the sort of miles and miles of space, it just gives you that quiet to think and reflect, and a really special place. Thank you so much for sharing it.
No, thanks to you, Mariel, for being here.
When we come back from break, we will be cooking a delicious asado, so stay with us. We're going to start the asado in a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to show you this giant barbecue pit behind me here, which is where you would cook a cow, but you need about 50 or 60 people to eat a whole cow. And since it's just a couple of us, we're actually going to do the barbecue in a sort of small outdoor kitchen type area. So I'm just going to meet Patricia over there now. Hi, Patricia.
Mariel.
Hola.
This is Ramon. Ramon Mariel.
So tell me, what are we going to be doing now?
We're going to light the fire here.
All right. And it seems to me that we have to light it quite a long time in advance of actually cooking. Is that right?
Exactly, so that we can get the coal ready to pass it over to the other side.
Right. So the coals have to be really nice and hot. I think we have to let the fire heat the wood for about an hour and a half before it'll be ready to start cooking the meat. All right, so the oven is nice and hot. The coals are ready. It's time for the asado to start cooking. And we get out of the way for Antonio. So, Patricia, what is he seasoning the meat with?
Salt.
A lot of salt.
Argentinian people like salt. He places the meat with the rib towards the fire first.
Right, okay. And this is what kind of cuts of meat are we looking at here? All kinds of things.
No, we have ribs there and loin.
Ribs and loins. Yum. And what does he have here?
Sausages made of pork.
Right. And blood sausage.
Exactly.
Blood pudding.
Echarle leña, porque haga más brasa.
He needs more wood.
Right.
Because he will be needing more brasa, what we call.
So basically he has to keep adding hot coal to the asado.
Because it's not exactly coal. You
Right.
see, it's branches. That's how it makes it so tasty.
Yeah.
We don't use coal.
So it's a particular kind of wood that you're using.
Exactly. It's
Right.
called espinillo. It's all wood, not
Okay.
coal.
Not coal.
Yeah.
Right. Fantastic.
Okay.
So the meat is cooking.
Que no deshaga
And we will
nada.
be having some lunch in about an hour, I think.
Exactly.
That looks
Así
fantastic.
que después, que primero siga sacando
Ok.
y que después
Muy bien, no hay problema. Mire el choricito que le vamos a mandar ya.
It looks fantastic. But what is this? He's put something down here. What is that? Is that?
the chimichurri I was telling you about.
Can you tell me what is chimichurri?
Yes. ¿Cómo hizo el chimichurri?
Ají molido,
Pepper, all sliced,
ajo,
then garlic,
perejil,
parsley,
un poco de pimentón,
a little bit of red pepper,
Pimienta.
powder, right?
Pimienta.
And pepper.
Right.
pimienta, sal,
Salt,
no,
then.
sal, aceite, vinagre y agua caliente.
Vinegar, oil, and they add a little bit of hot water.
Pues ya está, ¿eh?
Right.
Pueden sentarse, no sé si ellos qué van a hacer. ¿Van a ir a sentarse? ¿O quieren
That
dejar?
fantastic meat is just about ready for us to eat, so we're going to give it a try, and we'll be back after the break at a lumbo. So stay with us. That asado was completely delicious. Anyway, the men who have been working with us all day on the ranch are called Gauchos. They're actually Argentinian cowboys, and they have incredible skills as horsemen. So they're going to share some of their skills with us now. Let's take a look. That's it on this incredible day on this incredible ranch in Argentina. I'll see you next time on Sancoche.